So now I want to talk about Barbra.
Okay.
So I ran into Allan earlier in the year at Steve Terrell's concert
Correct.
at Catalina. I was there because Quinn Johnson, Steve's musical director, is a really good friend of mine. And
Steve's a good friend of mine. And
yeah.
I know him for so many years, and he's so gifted. I love what he does.
So talented. Yeah, so it was great to see Allan. And the minute I saw Allan, I knew I had to ask him / beg him to be in. I've been doing this birthday party for Barbra Streisand, as anybody who watches this show knows. I've been having a birthday party for Barbra Streisand for 19 years. And it started as just a fun thing to do with a bunch of friends one night. And then it turned out, everybody wants to sing a Barbra Streisand song. Anybody who's a singer is influenced by Barbra Streisand. So everybody wants to do a Barbra Streisand song. And 364 days a year, you're not allowed to. You're not supposed to sing songs that are associated with Barbra. But
well, nobody can sing them better than her.
Nobody can sing them better than her. So one day a year we do it, and we do it for charity. And I've been doing it for Project Angel Food for a while now. And so I knew I was going to do this groovy event, and I wanted Allan to come because he wrote a gorgeous song that Barbra recorded, Lessons to Be Learned.
I just want to say, I didn't write it alone. I wrote it with Dorothy C. Gaisley and Marcia Malamet.
Yes, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous song. And let's see, I asked Allan to be in it, and he very graciously agreed to it. And go ahead with that next picture. So that's you. We had some merchandise donated so the sales went to the Project Angel Food. That's actually David Samuel Childs is going to be in the brunch. Allan, you guys are helping pimp out the merchandise.
Mm-hmm. I bought a little.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Good. And the wild thing that happened is Allan calls me up one day. I actually probably shouldn't say what you said, but
what happened?
You're gonna.
Yeah. The thing was, I was just shocked, but Jay Landers is a longtime friend of mine. He recorded. He's the one who shepherded the song from the inception. Then when Barbra heard it till it got completed, which was a 5-year process.
Wow.
And also he, which is really a lot of fun. He recorded one of my songs with Johnny Mathis many years ago, and he proceeded to tell me that night that Clive Davis is producing a new album on Johnny Mathis, and Jay's was working on it, and the producer was Babyface.
Oh, wow.
And and Johnny Mathis recorded Run to You for the new record coming out in September.
Great.
So, but I know Jay a long time, and we've been friends for a long time. And Richard J. Alexander, who's Barbara's director of her shows, and Jay is her, one of the executive producers of all her records. They've worked together for years. He texted me and said, "Allan, we heard about this thing. We want to come. Can you get us? We're willing to pay for tickets." I said, I called Cliff. I said, "Cliff, are you sitting down?"
Right.
And they did come, and they had a really good time, and that was the picture that we all took. And I guess the highlight for anybody was Barbra wrote a letter to Cliff, and they read it on the stage because Barbra was very thrilled that he would be doing something in her honor with Project Angel Food. And it was a very beautiful moment. And you have that letter for the rest of your life.
Oh my God! And it's electronically everywhere it's possible. But yeah, I mean, it was such an incredible experience, and that I directly have you to thank for.
In this case, I'll say you're right.
Absolutely, and I really want to give those guys a shout out because they stayed the entire evening, and it was a long show. It verged on 3 hours because I like to have a lot of people sing, and they could, even Richard said, we could have done a drive-by and just dropped off and said bye, but it was so incredibly classy of them. They stayed all night. They were so supportive. They talked to everybody. They said nice things to everybody who had sung, and they hung out afterwards for like a half an hour. It was just incredibly classy of them. And Richard, I mean, I think it's okay to say this. because he did say it, but Richard said that that Barbra had talked about actually coming, and that unfortunately Sandy Gallen had died that
Right.
week, who she had been very close to. So she became involved in the memoriam for him. But that Barbra had been very touched by the fact that we were doing this in her name for Project Danger Food, which she's a longtime supporter of. And so she couldn't have been more gracious or more sweet. And he said she actually was like, I'm going to come and it'll blow everybody's mind and everything. But Richard made a big point to say that she was very charmed by the notion and she was very supportive of it and blah, blah, blah.
It's not through Barbra. It was through Roz, Barbara's sister. Roz had said to me one time several years ago, my nephew Jason wants to be a songwriter, and will you listen to some of his lyrics and just check him out? I said, of course. We got together, we had brunch, and then he came to my house, and it started, and he was naturally gifted, as a writer. And what I came to find out, he's a great singer.
Unbelievable singer.
And so
he has the gorgeous
he has a
voice.
record coming out that Quincy Jones produced, and I'm happy enough to say that Judd and Jason and I and Alan Scott and Jason and I and Marsha Malamet and Jason and I have all written songs for the record, and now it just has to come out. It's been mixed and it's ready to roll. The rest is, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's so beautiful. Jason played me. He sings so beautifully, and the song's so powerful. So I hope it does come out. So that's my association with Barbra, and I thank Roz for the fact that she introduced me to Jason, and now.
Yeah, I should have had the Jason picture up there because he is an extraordinary singer.
Yes, he is, and he's such a lovely person.
He has the thing in his voice.
He's a sweet man. I really am fond of him.
Yeah.